Dr. Jazz. Dr. Jazz.
It was luck. You know, I had graduated from New England Conservatory, and I, was living in Boston. I figured I would, stay in Boston for a number of years and, you know, work and practice and try to assimilate all of this information that had been thrown at me during my 4 years of music school, some of which I could assimilate as I went, and some was like, okay, I got to actually spend more time exploring this stuff. And one day I get this phone call, and the person says it's Sonny Rollins. And I'm like, okay, yeah, who are you really? What friend of mine is pulling a prank on me? But it was Sonny. And he said he was coming up to play at this prominent at the time jazz club in Boston called Paul's Mall. But he needed a sub on bass for one night.
Okay.
I don't know what I don't remember who the regular bass player was in at the time. I've forgotten. I used to know. But he couldn't do, he had a conflict with one night of that week's engagement. And Sonny had called a teacher and pianist, organist who taught at New England Conservatory named Webster Lewis, who Sonny knew a bit. And he had asked Webster for recommendation for a sub, and Webster, who I had done some work with, recommended me. And so, Sonny said, go out and buy my, most recent album. We'll do a few tunes from that, and we'll get together the day on the afternoon of that performance and go over some things, and then we'll hit that night. And that's what we did. And it was just, I've thanked Webster. Well, Webster's passed away, years ago, but I, thanked him for, suggesting me. And after we did it, some weeks later, Sonny called again and had more work for me to do. And that was the beginning of my being in the band.
Wow. And how was it like to play in that group? I mean, first as a bass guitarist, how was the energy? How was it work? Was it like to work in that group? I mean, like, if you can describe that, because it seemed like really fun, but also intense in the same time.
Yeah, exactly. That's what it was. It was fun, and it was intense.
Yeah.
Sonny was very self-critical.
Oh.
He didn't bestow praise or encouragement, easily. So he would, but not that often. And he had high standards.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just, and it was intense. I mean, the energy level was really high consistently.
Yeah. Wow.
And his focus was very sharp consistently. And he wouldn't often say in much detail what he wanted.
Yeah, that's what
how he wanted us. Yeah. I mean, this is something of a generational, subcultural, and then I suppose just individual, aspect
Yeah.
I mean, some people are very comfortable, saying, hey, would you like voice this a little higher here in this section, or leave more space there, or feel free to jump in, whatever. Some people are very comfortable giving that sort of verbal direction, and other people really do not want to. It's like, okay, I'm hiring you because I like what you do, but if there's something that I don't like, it's up to you to figure it out.
Oh, yeah.
And Sonny was more that way. He would say when he didn't like things, but wouldn't so much say, oh yeah, you were really grooving on that tune, I really love that solo, or do more of that or less of this. He wouldn't do that very, very often. Yeah, occasionally, and there were even occasionally some written notes that I would get, but so at times, me tending to be a linear thinker in a certain way. I mean, I kind of, before I was decided in college to study social sciences, I was really a physical science person. I thought I was going to be a chemist,
Oh, wow.
And so pretty detail oriented and observing the physical details of things, introspective a bit. So sometimes the way that Sonny functioned as a band leader would be challenging, was challenging for me.
Imagine,
But then I learned so much just being on the stand, listening to him.
Yeah.
It was really like being in graduate school, in a way.
Imagine, yeah.
And, and so often, I mean, that man would do, I mean, I sometimes say it this way, that man would do more with 3 pitches and rhythm, 3 pitches and phrasing. And he would say so much, more than people, some people was, I mean, Sonny he could do that too when he chose to, but just where he would place what he played in the time flow, in the meter frame,
phrasing
carried so much flavor. And that was really inspiring.